Hi, this is Zach Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Vox Markets for Thursday, the 13th of January, starting with ADVFN, where we've had the technicals mixing with the fundamentals. Gap higher off the floor of the rising trend channel from the end of 2020. Above the 200-day line around 65 pence, looking for the top of the channel there as high as £1.40. Ideally, there's no break back below even the 70 pence level, so decent momentum there. On to Keros, which I believe I covered yesterday, actually, after the market closed, alas, but shares up 25% today. We had that break of that resistance line there from September around the 14 pence level. The shares have responded well from that falling wedge break. Upside here up to 24, 25 pence is the best case scenario over the next month, especially while we hold above the 50-day moving average at 16 pence, which seems doable, especially as we have that rising RSI divergence line, which should provide further momentum or indicates momentum behind the shares. On to NWell, which gets the odd mention here now and again. Here we've had decent, well, actually, it's a very interesting pattern here. It's an island reversal, bear trap island reversal. So we gapped down beginning of the month and gapped up higher after, and also had a bear trap. So everything in there in terms of positivity, let's say. As far as the upside is concerned, rising trend channel here. That's from back in January last year, and that's got its resistance line at 50 pence, which should be the target while we hold above the 50-day moving average around 36 pence, maybe allowed out of 35, but something like that. So that's a healthy looking situation. On to Ferro Alloy, which it's a company which seems to be stirring again with a V-shaped bull flag resting on the 50-day moving average, which can be a decent setup. We're already towards recent resistance around the low 30s, but I think we can probably, hopefully, do better than that over the near term. Maybe something towards 35 or the upper 30s, 36 pence over the next 2 to 4 weeks. And maybe even more than that towards the best levels of the past year at 45. But initially, upper 30s while we hold above the 25 pence level of the 50-day moving average. On to Helium One, which has made a bit of a comeback, say a surprise comeback, but here you can see that we've broken that line of resistance from the end of August and also broken resistance around 7.5 pence, above 7.5, looking to the top of that rising trend channel from August at 12 pence, hopefully as soon as the end of next month, only back below 6 pence, really delaying the upside scenario. Moving along to Petro Matad, and here quite a clear break of neckline resistance, quite sort of almost artistic in terms of the patterns there, but breaking 3.3 pence, that extended base for the shares, we should open up the prospect of a move towards 6.3 pence, which is the top of that July gap down that we had. If you want some more sort of ammunition for the bull argument, it would be an end of day close through the 200-day moving average of 4 pence. But I would suggest that having, well, an end of day close above the bottom of the July gap around 3.6 pence would be enough as a decent buy signal or a technical trigger for potential move to the upside. On to mobile streams, which is always entertaining from a charting perspective. Here you can see that the shares have managed to spike back up and break even the old March resistance there at 0.48. Above that, really looking for a move back to retest the best levels of last year at 0.7 pence over the next 1 to 2 months, maybe 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. But 0.48, the ideal sort of support area for the shares ahead of a potential move to the upside. One of my favorite stocks at the moment, both technically and fundamentally, is Pipehawk. And don't ask me the details of what it does, but at least from a technical perspective, we've broken that 20 pence level, that line of resistance from beginning of last year, and above that, looking for 35 pence, which is what we've been chasing for a couple of weeks now, at least a break of 20 leading to 35 on Pipehawk. Not such a happy or easy situation with Predator, but could be back in business. But we need to see an end of day close through 6.2 pence, as that's blocked the price action since the beginning of last month. Only if we can do that, then we would have open up the shares to a move to the 200-day moving average at 8.8 pence. Just a few stocks to go now. The first one is one that I missed out on the RNS hot list this morning, which was slightly disappointing, but there we are. Gap higher for React Group. Bottom of the gap there at 1 3/4 pence, and above that, looking for a move back to August resistance around 2 3/4 pence, perhaps by the end of next month. Ideally, we don't have an end of day close back below the floor of the gap. On to a stock which is perhaps slightly off the radar, but may decide to become back on the radar. We've got Thor Exploration with a beautiful bouncer off the floor of a broadening triangle. A great hammer candle there yesterday, and a beautiful move with a gap higher today. The view is that at least while we're above 15 pence, which was the initial January resistance, we could see the shares head as high as 23 pence at the top of that broadening August triangle, rather. Finishing off with a stock which seems to have been trumpeted today by somebody who was it's almost like royalty in the Twitterati. Here we've got Wood Group breaking that line of resistance from back in January with a gap through that line at £2.11. I was going to sound smart by saying that the shares could hit 280 when they just broke 20 level. But obviously, doesn't look very ambitious now. But I think probably we could stretch to the 290 level, especially while we hold above the 200-day moving average at £2.29. So above 229, looking for 290 on Wood Group after it. Well, I suppose we already had the gap through the 50-day moving average, which was impressive, and then a second gap completing the island reversal as well, Bear Trap Island reversal. So everything going on there. Shame that we weren't following the shares before, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.